On the night of April 8, 1974, a 40-year-old outfielder stepped into the batter's box at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Over 53,000 fans packed the stands, the largest crowd in the stadium's history. Millions more watched on television across the country. The man at the plate was Henry Aaron, though the world knew him as Hank. He had 714 career home runs, tied with Babe Ruth for the most in baseball history. One more swing could change everything. In the fourth inning, with a runner on first, Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Al Downing threw a fastball. Aaron turned on it and drove the ball deep into left center field. It carried over the fence and into the bullpen. Fireworks exploded overhead. Fans poured out of their seats. 715. A new home run king. Dodgers broadcaster Vin Scully captured the moment perfectly. "A black man," he said, "is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol." But behind the celebration was a story few people fully understood. For nearly 2 years, Aaron had received thousands of letters every week. Some congratulated him. Many others contained death threats, racial slurs, and hatred so vile that he needed a secretary just to sort through the mail. He had lived in fear that he might not survive to see this night. When it was finally over, Aaron said simply, "Thank God it's over." This is the story of Hammerin Hank Aaron, a boy who hit bottle caps with broomsticks in the poorest neighborhood of Mobile, Alabama. A man who endured hatred and death threats to chase a record that many believed should never be broken. A legend who finished with 755 home runs and changed baseball forever. Henry Louis Aaron was born on February 5, 1934, in a section of Mobile, Alabama, known as Down the Bay. It was a poor black neighborhood, tight-knit but struggling. The Great Depression had not yet ended, and opportunities for African Americans in the Deep South were severely limited. His father, Herbert Aaron Sr., worked as a riveter at the Alabama Dry Docks shipyard. He would spend 30 years at that job, eventually becoming a welder. Herbert was a quiet, hard-working man who provided for his family through physical labor in brutal southern heat. He would later become one of Mobile's first prominent African-American businessmen, opening a tavern in addition to his shipyard work. His mother, Estella Pritchett Aaron, was a homemaker who raised their large family. She was protective of her children, especially young Henry. When he started playing baseball for local teams, she insisted that he only play games close to home. She could not bear the thought of her son traveling far away. Henry was the third of 8 children. The Aaron household was full of life, laughter, and struggle. Money was always tight. The children learned early that they would have to work for everything they got. One of Henry's younger brothers, Tommy, would also become a Major League Baseball player. Tommy played 7 seasons for the Atlanta Braves from 1962 through 1971. The two brothers even hit home runs in the same game 3 different times. When Henry retired, he and Tommy held the record for most career home runs by siblings, with 768 combined. Henry had 755 and Tommy had 13. The Aarons had little money. When Henry was 8 years old, his father built a small house in Toulminville, a slightly better neighborhood on the outskirts of Mobile. The house started with just a few rooms, but Herbert gradually expanded it over the years. That home would remain in the family for decades. Toulminville remained a steady anchor for the family. Young Henry loved baseball from the start, but his family could not afford equipment. So he improvised. He practiced hitting bottle caps with broomsticks. He made his own bats and balls from whatever materials he could find on the streets. Years later, Aaron credited those bottle cap sessions with developing his unique hitting style. "You had to hit out in front," he explained, "before the bottle cap could curve away from you." His boyhood idol was Jackie Robinson. In 1948, when Henry was 14, his father took him to see Robinson play during the Brooklyn Dodgers spring training tour through Mobile. They sat in the segregated colored section of Hartwell Field and watched the man who had broken baseball's color barrier just 1 year earlier. Henry also attended a speech Robinson gave in town. Jackie's presence is what opened Henry's imagination. That day changed everything. Before Robinson, Henry's father had told him there were no colored ball players in the major leagues. After Robinson, anything seemed possible. Henry attended Central High School, where he played both football and baseball. He was good enough at football to receive scholarship offers, but baseball was his true passion. He played outfield and third base, helping lead his team to the Negro High School championship. His classmate at Central was another future Hall of Famer, Willie McCovey. For his junior and senior years, Henry transferred to the Josephine Allen Institute, a private school with an organized baseball program. He graduated in 1951. Even as a teenager, Aaron stood out. He played for local semi-professional teams, starting with the Pritchard Athletics at $2 per game, then moving to the Mobile Black Bears at $3 per game. His mother insisted he only play in games close to home. There was one problem with his swing. Aaron batted cross-handed, meaning that as a right-handed hitter, he placed his left hand above his right on the bat. It was the opposite of how batters are supposed to grip the handle. Coaches worried he would break his wrists hitting that way. But Aaron kept hitting and hitting hard. In November of 1951, scout Ed Scott signed the 17-year-old Aaron to a contract with the Indianapolis Clowns of the Negro American League. The salary was $200 per month. It was Aaron's first professional contract. Home was the hardest thing Aaron had ever done. His mother was so upset she could not come to the train station to see him off. With $2 in his pocket and a couple of sandwiches she had made, the skinny teenager boarded a train for spring training in North Carolina. Aaron played shortstop for the Clowns, and he dominated immediately. In just 26 games, he helped lead Indianapolis to the 1952 Negro League World Series championship. His teammates nicknamed him Pork Chops because he ate pork chops at every meal, sometimes 3 times a day. It was with the Clowns that Aaron finally fixed his grip. Coaches taught him to put his right hand on top, the correct position for a right-handed hitter. The rest, as they say, is history. Aaron's performance caught the attention of Major League scouts. He received telegram offers from 2 teams, the New York Giants and the Boston Braves. Both wanted to sign him. Aaron chose the Braves. The reason was simple. They offered $50 more per month. In June of 1952, the Braves purchased Aaron's contract from the Clowns for $10,000. They assigned him to their Class C affiliate, the Eau Claire Bears in Wisconsin. Aaron was 18 years old, far from home, and one of the only black players in the league. He was desperately homesick. He wrote letters constantly and thought about quitting. His brother Herbert Jr. kept encouraging him not to give up on this opportunity. Aaron responded by dominating the league. In 87 games, he hit .336 with 9 home runs and 61 runs batted in. He scored 89 runs and collected 116 hits. The Northern League unanimously voted him Rookie of the Year. The following year, the Braves promoted Aaron to their Class A affiliate in Jacksonville, Florida. It was 1953, and the South Atlantic League had very few black players. Aaron was entering the heart of Jim Crow territory. Aaron was one of the first black players in the league's history. The racism was constant and inescapable. Aaron could not stay in the same hotels as his white teammates. He could not eat in the same restaurants. When the team bus stopped for food, Aaron and the other black players had to wait outside or go around to the back entrance. He endured slurs and hatred in nearly every city. Fans hurled insults from the stands. Opposing players tried to intimidate him, but Aaron kept his composure. He understood that he was carrying a heavy burden, not just for himself, but for every black player who would come after him. The Braves knew, and we knew, Aaron later wrote, that we not only had to play well, but if we ever lost our cool or caused an incident, it might set the whole program back 5 or 10 years. One sports writer captured the situation perfectly. Henry Aaron led the league in everything except hotel accommodations. On the field, Aaron was unstoppable. He led the league in runs with 115, hits with 208, doubles with 36, runs batted in with 125, total bases with 338, and a batting average of 362. It was one of the most dominant minor league seasons ever recorded. He won the league's Most Valuable Player award unanimously. That winter, Aaron played in Puerto Rico to continue developing his skills. He had proven he could hit anywhere. In the spring of 1954, Aaron got his break. The Braves, now located in Milwaukee, lost their starting left fielder Bobby Thompson to a broken ankle during spring training. Aaron made the team as his replacement. On April 13, 1954, Henry Aaron made his major league debut against the Cincinnati Reds. He went 0 for 5 against pitcher Joe Nuxhall. 10 days later, on April 23, 1954, Aaron hit the first home run of his career off Vic Raschi of the St. Louis Cardinals. He was 20 years old. His legend was just beginning. Aaron quickly established himself as one of the best young hitters in baseball. In 1955, he was selected to his first All-Star team. It would be the first of 25 All-Star selections, a record that still stands. In 1956, Aaron won his first National League batting title with a .328 average. The Sporting News named him National League Player of the Year. At 22, he was already one of the most feared hitters in the game. But 1957 would be the season that made him a legend. Aaron had his first brush with the Triple Crown, leading the league in home runs with 44 and runs batted in with 132, while batting .322. The Braves were in a tight pennant race with the St. Louis Cardinals. On September 23rd, with the Braves needing a win to clinch the pennant, Aaron came to bat in the bottom of the 11th inning against Cardinals pitcher Billy Muffet. With 2 runners on base, Aaron launched a home run that sent Milwaukee into pandemonium. It remains the only pennant-clenching walk-off home run in a non-playoff regular season game in Major League history. Aaron was named the National League Most Valuable Player. It would be the only Most Valuable Player award of his career, though he would finish in the top 10 of voting numerous other times. The Braves faced the New York Yankees in the World Series. The Yankees were the defending champions, loaded with stars like Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, and Whitey Ford. It was a matchup between the 2 league most valuable players, Aaron and Mantle, the first time that had happened in World Series history. Few gave Milwaukee a chance against the mighty Bronx Bombers. The series was a classic. The Yankees won Game 1 behind Ford, but the Braves responded with 3 straight victories. Lou Burdette, a crafty right-hander, was magnificent on the mound. He beat the Yankees 3 times, including 2 shutouts, and was named Series' Most Valuable Player. Aaron was the offensive star. He hit .393 for the series with 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. In Game 4, with the series tied 2 games to 2, Aaron led off the second inning with a triple and later scored. Eddie Matthews hit a walk-off home run in the 10th inning to give Milwaukee a crucial victory. In Game 7 at Yankee Stadium, Burdette took the mound on just 2 days' rest after Warren Spahn came down with the flu. The Braves scored 4 runs in the 3rd inning and never looked back. Burdette threw a complete game shutout, and the Braves were world champions for the first time since 1914. Aaron finished the series having dominated the team that had won 6 of the previous 8 World Series. Milwaukee went crazy. The city threw a massive parade for their heroes. 2 weeks later, Aaron's wife Barbara gave birth to twins. Tragically, one of the babies died just 2 days later. It was a reminder that even in triumph, life can bring unbearable sorrow. The Braves returned to the World Series in 1958, but lost to the Yankees in 7 games. Aaron continued his excellence, winning his second batting title in 1959 and earning Gold Glove awards in 1958, 1959, and 1960. In 1963, Aaron achieved something that only 2 players had done before him. He hit 44 home runs and stole 31 bases, joining the exclusive 30-30 club alongside Willie Mays and Ken Williams. Year after year, Aaron produced, a model of consistency. He never had a flashy style. He did not hit towering home runs that made crowds gasp. He simply made contact, drove the ball with power, and rarely struck out. His quick wrists and strong hands generated tremendous bat speed. Pitchers feared him because he could hit any pitch in any location. Sal Maglie, who pitched against Aaron, once said that he was going to swing, and that he would go after almost anything. He said he would hit almost anything, so you have to be careful. His consistency was remarkable. Aaron hit 44 home runs in 4 different seasons, all while wearing number 44 on his back. It was a coincidence that became his trademark. Aaron hit at least 24 home runs every season from 1955 through 1973, a span of 19 consecutive years. He drove in 100 runs 11 times. He hit 300 or better 14 times. He scored 100 runs 15 times. He was selected to the All-Star team every single year from 1955 through 1975, a streak of 21 consecutive selections. He was not flashy. He did not seek attention. He simply showed up every day and performed at the highest level. That quiet excellence defined his entire career. In 1966, the Braves moved from Milwaukee to Atlanta. Aaron was 32 years old, entering what should have been the declining phase of his career. Instead, he kept hitting. On May 17, 1970, Aaron became the first player in baseball history to reach both 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. No one had ever done both. By 1973, Aaron was 39 years old and closing in on the most sacred record in baseball. Babe Ruth had hit 714 home runs between 1914 and 1935. For nearly 4 decades, that number had seemed untouchable. Aaron entered the season with 673 home runs. Everyone knew what was coming. That summer, the letters started arriving, thousands of them every week. At the peak, Aaron received as many as 3,000 letters per day. He needed a secretary, Carla Coplin, just to help sort through the mail. Some letters offered congratulations and encouragement. Many others were filled with hatred. The death threats were constant. People wrote that they would kill Aaron if he broke Ruth's record. They threatened to kidnap his children. They promised to harm his family. The letters were so disturbing that Aaron's father started carrying a pistol for protection. The FBI got involved, tracking some of the most serious threats. Aaron later said, "I thought that everybody hated me. I got so many letters, and the ones that I opened started off by being so hateful and spiteful." Aaron saved some of the letters. He wanted people to understand what he had endured. The hatred was not just from a few isolated individuals. It was widespread, organized, and relentless. Aaron's black teammates joked darkly about not sitting next to him in the dugout, fearing that an assassin might shoot the wrong player. Aaron required constant security. Police officers guarded his home. Bodyguards accompanied him on the road. On some road trips, he refused to leave the team hotel, afraid of what might happen if he ventured outside. Some fans could not accept that a black man might break the record of a white legend. Ruth was an icon, and in the minds of some, his record was sacred ground that Aaron had no right to touch. Aaron pressed on. He finished the 1973 season with 40 home runs in just 392 at-bats. His final home run of the year, number 713, came on September the 29th. He ended the season one short of tying Ruth's record. That winter, Aaron lived with the knowledge that the threats would continue. He later said his only fear was that he might not live to see the 1974 season. The Braves opened the season on the road in Cincinnati. Many expected Aaron to sit out the series so he could break the record at home in Atlanta. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn ordered the Braves to play Aaron, fearing it would look like they were manipulating the schedule. In his first at-bat of the season on April 4th, Aaron hit home run number 714 off Jack Billingham. He had tied Babe Ruth. 4 days later came the night in Atlanta. The stadium was electric. Over 53,000 fans filled every seat, the largest crowd in the history of Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. NBC broadcast the game nationally on Monday Night Baseball. Celebrities, politicians, and baseball dignitaries filled the stands. In his first at-bat, Aaron walked on 5 pitches. The crowd booed Downing for not giving Aaron anything to hit. In the 4th inning, Aaron came up again with a runner on first base. Downing's first pitch was a ball, low and outside. The crowd groaned. Then came the second pitch, a fastball down the middle. Aaron's quick wrists whipped the bat through the zone. The ball exploded off his bat and rocketed toward left center field. Dodgers outfielder Bill Buckner raced back toward the wall. He leaped, but the ball sailed over his glove, over the fence, and into the Braves' bullpen. Relief pitcher Tom House caught it and sprinted toward home plate. Fireworks exploded overhead as Aaron rounded the bases. 2 young fans jumped out of the stands and ran alongside him between second and third. Aaron later said he was not sure if they were congratulating him or trying to hurt him. Security had been a constant concern. By the time Aaron touched home plate, a crowd had gathered. His teammates mobbed him. His mother Estella wrapped her arms around her son. His father Herbert was right beside her. Tom House handed Aaron the historic baseball. Braves radio announcer Milo Hamilton made the call that would become immortal. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 715. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. In the 6th inning, Aaron received a phone call in the dugout from President Richard Nixon, who congratulated him on the achievement. Nixon himself would make a different kind of history just 4 months later when he resigned from office. After the game, Aaron said simply, "I just thank God it's all over." He finished the 1974 season with 20 home runs, bringing his total to 733. It had been a draining year. The pressure, the threats, and the constant attention had taken their toll. Aaron was exhausted mentally and physically. After the season, the Braves traded Aaron to the Milwaukee Brewers, sending him back to the city where his major league career had begun 2 decades earlier. It was a homecoming of sorts. Milwaukee fans had always loved Aaron, and they welcomed him back with open arms. Aaron played 2 more seasons in Milwaukee, serving primarily as a designated hitter in the American League. He hit 22 home runs in 1975 and 10 more in 1976. The power was fading, but the pride remained. On July 20th, 1976, Aaron hit his final home run, number 755, off Dick Drago of the California Angels. He did not know at the time that it would be his last. He simply rounded the bases as he had done 754 times before. When he retired after the 1976 season, Aaron was 42 years old. He had played 23 seasons of professional baseball. He was the last former Negro League player still active on a major league roster, a living connection to baseball's segregated past. When he retired after the 1976 season, Henry Aaron held records that seemed unbreakable. 755 home runs, 94 more than Babe Ruth had hit. 2,297 runs batted in, the most in history. 6,856 total bases, also a record. 1,477 extra base hits, another record. 3,771 hits, third most in history behind only Pete Rose and Ty Cobb. He had been selected to 25 All-Star games, more than any player in history. He had won 3 Gold Gloves, 2 batting titles, and 1 Most Valuable Player award. He had helped the Braves win a World Series championship. He had led the league in home runs 4 times and in runs batted in 4 times. What made Aaron's accomplishment even more remarkable was how he achieved it. He never hit more than 47 home runs in a single season. 49 players have had higher single-season totals than Aaron's best. yet he still finished with the second most home runs of all time. He did it through relentless consistency, hitting at least 24 home runs for 19 consecutive seasons. Perhaps most remarkably, Aaron struck out just 1,383 times in his career, while walking 1,402 times. He had more walks than strikeouts, a testament to his incredible plate discipline and contact skills. In an era when power hitters were expected to strike out frequently, Aaron was an exception. He played in 3,298 games, third most in history. He came to bat 12,364 times, second only to Pete Rose. He scored 2,174 runs, tied with Babe Ruth for fourth all-time. Aaron's home run record stood for 33 years. In 2007, Barry Bonds of the San Francisco Giants hit his 756th home run to pass Aaron on the all-time list. Bonds finished with 762. When Bonds broke the record, Aaron did not attend the game. He sent a video message congratulating Bonds, calling it a great accomplishment that required skill, longevity, and determination. Aaron handled the moment with the same dignity he had shown throughout his career. After retiring as a player, Aaron returned to the Braves organization. He became one of the first African Americans to hold a front office position in Major League Baseball. He served as the team's vice president and director of player development, then as senior vice president. Aaron never forgot the discrimination he had faced. Throughout his post-playing career, he spoke out about the lack of minorities in baseball management and ownership. He said, "Blacks have been able to be supergiants. But once our playing days are over, this is the end of it, and we go back to the back of the bus again." The honors accumulated over the years. In 1982, Aaron was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame with 97.8% of the vote, the second highest percentage in history at that time, behind only Ty Cobb. He walked into Cooperstown alongside Frank Robinson, another black superstar who had broken barriers in the game. Both the Braves and the Brewers retired his number 44. Statues of Aaron were erected outside stadiums in Atlanta and Milwaukee, and a statue stands in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where his minor league career began. In 1999, on the 25th anniversary of his record-breaking home run, Major League Baseball created the Hank Aaron Award. It is given annually to the best offensive player in each league, recognizing excellence at the plate rather than pitching. Aaron was present at the announcement and expressed his hope that the award would inspire future generations of hitters. That same year, the Sporting News named Aaron the fifth greatest player in baseball history. He was also selected to Major League Baseball's All-Century team by a combination of fan voting and expert selection. In 2001, President Bill Clinton awarded Aaron the Presidential Citizens Medal, the second highest civilian honor. The following year, President George W. Bush awarded Aaron the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. The awards recognized both his baseball achievements and his lifelong advocacy for civil rights and equal opportunity. In 2010, Aaron was inducted as a Georgia trustee, an honor bestowed by the Georgia Historical Society and the Governor's Office to recognize exceptional Georgians. Aaron published his autobiography I Had a Hammer in 1990. The title was a play on his nickname, Hammerin Hank, and the folk song, If I Had a Hammer. The book detailed his experiences with racism and his journey to the home run record. In his later years, Aaron lived in Atlanta and remained involved with the Braves organization. He and his second wife, Billie Suba Williams, whom he married in 1973, were active philanthropists. They founded the Hank Aaron Chasing the Dream Foundation in 1994 to help young people pursue their goals. The street address of the Braves Stadium is 755, honoring his home run total. A recreational trail in Milwaukee bears his name. His childhood home in Mobile was restored and turned into a museum. Muhammad Ali, the boxing legend and fellow icon of black excellence, once said of Aaron, "The only man I idolize more than myself." On January 22, 2021, Henry Aaron died peacefully in his sleep at his Atlanta home. He was 86 years old. He had lived to see his legacy honored in countless ways, from statues to awards to the permanent exhibit at the Hall of Fame called Hank Aaron, Chasing the Dream. The tributes poured in from across the sports world and beyond. Former President Bill Clinton attended his funeral at Friendship Baptist Church in Atlanta. Former Commissioner Bud Selig, who had been Aaron's friend since the Milwaukee days, spoke of their decades of friendship. Commissioner Rob Manfred called him one of the greatest players and the finest people in the history of our game. Fans placed flowers at the former site of Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where he had hit home run 715, and in front of his statue at the Braves' current ballpark. Aaron's legacy extends far beyond the numbers. Yes, he hit 755 home runs. Yes, he drove in more runs than anyone in history. Yes, he collected more extra base hits and total bases than any player who ever lived. But Aaron's true legacy is how he handled the pressure and hatred that accompanied his pursuit of Babe Ruth's record. He did not lash out. He did not quit. He kept playing, kept hitting, kept proving that he belonged. In his autobiography, Aaron reflected on what Jackie Robinson had meant to him. Jackie Robinson had to be bigger than life. He had to be bigger than the Brooklyn teammates who got up a petition to keep him off the ball club, bigger than the pitchers who threw at him or the base runners who dug their spikes into his shin, bigger than the bench jockeys who hollered for him to carry their bags and shine their shoes, bigger than the so-called fans who mocked him with mops on their heads and wrote him death threats. Aaron could have been describing himself. When people remember Hank Aaron, they remember 715. They remember a ball flying over the fence in Atlanta on a warm April night. They remember fireworks and celebration and a new home run king. But they should also remember what it took to get there, the letters, the threats, the isolation, the fear. Aaron once said he realized while growing up in Mobile that being a black person, he already had 2 strikes against him. He was not going to let them get the 3rd strike. He felt like being a baseball player, he had one way to go, and that was up. He went all the way up, from hitting bottle caps with broomsticks down the bay to standing at home plate in Atlanta with 715 home runs. From the Negro Leagues to the Hall of Fame. From a scared teenager on a train to the most prolific power hitter in baseball history. Henry Aaron was not just a great baseball player. He was a great American. He showed that excellence and dignity could triumph over hatred and fear. He proved that records are made to be broken, no matter who set them or who breaks them. When Barry Bonds passed him on the home run list, Aaron sent his congratulations. When asked about his legacy, Aaron spoke about opportunity and equality. When honored for his achievements, he thanked the people who had supported him along the way. He never sought the spotlight. He never craved attention. He simply did his job day after day, year after year, for 23 seasons. 755 home runs, 2,297 runs batted in, 25 All-Star selections, 1 World Series championship, 1 Presidential Medal of Freedom, 1 Hammerin Hank. Like and subscribe for more baseball documentaries. Until next time.